Our planet Earth has a celestial body revolving around it, the Moon. Such celestial bodies which revolve around planets are called their natural satellites or moons. Outer planets such as Jupiter and Saturn have more than 50 moons revolving around them. All these moons have either a number or a name. We don't have a special name or number for our natural satellite, so we simply refer to it as the Moon. Of the inner planets, neither Mercury nor Venus have any moons. Earth has one and Mars has two small moons. Like Earth, the Moon does not produce its own light. It merely reflects the light of the Sun falling on it. That's how we are able to see it. In the night sky, the Moon appears in different sizes and shapes, from being completely invisible to being partially visible, and sometimes fully visible with a circular disc shape. In the phases where the lit portion grows in size, the Moon is said to be waxing, while in the phases where the lit portion diminishes in size, the Moon is said to be waning. Tap on each phase to learn more. Let's understand how and why we get to see different phases of the Moon. In the space view, move the Moon in the anti-clockwise direction along its orbit to see how it would appear from the Earth at that point. In the Earth view, flick your finger on the screen to see a new phase of the Moon by changing the angle from which you view it. We see different phases of the Moon because of the changing position of the Moon in relation to the Earth. This is due to the Moon's revolutions around the Earth. When it is closest to the Sun, it is completely invisible because sunlight does not fall on the half that faces the Earth. When it's farthest from the Sun, we get to see the full Moon or the fully illuminated Moon, as the half of the Moon that faces us is fully lit. And in the positions between these two, we see the Moon partly lit and partly dark. It's interesting to note that we get to see only one half of the Moon. That's because it takes the same time to complete one revolution around the Earth as it takes to complete one rotation on its own axis, 27.3 days. So in all phases of the Moon, it's the same half that we can see. The other half is never visible from the Earth. So what does the Moon's surface look like? It is covered with high, steep mountains and deep craters that were formed over time when meteors collided with its surface. These craters remain well preserved due to the lack of atmosphere on the Moon's surface. Just as the Moon revolves around the Earth, several man-made or artificial satellites also keep revolving around our planet. They are taken into space by rockets and then placed into orbit. These artificial satellites revolve around Earth at a much closer distance than Earth's natural satellite, the Moon. Artificial satellites are used for various purposes, such as weather forecasting, telecommunications, transmitting television signals, and remote sensing. Besides planets and their natural satellites, our solar system also has other celestial bodies, such as asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. Tap on each to learn more. Asteroids are rocky or metallic objects that generally orbit the Sun in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. A comet is a small, icy celestial body that, when passing close to the Sun, heats up and begins to emit gas, displaying a visible atmosphere or coma. It appears as a bright head with a long tail. The tail keeps growing in size as it approaches the sun, and it is always directed away from the sun. A meteoroid is a small rocky or metallic body traveling through space. It comprises mostly of fragments from comets or asteroids. When such a small object enters the Earth's atmosphere, it is called a meteor. Due to the friction it experiences upon entering the atmosphere, it heats up and starts glowing, thus appearing as a bright flash of light. Soon after, it evaporates due to the heat. When a series of meteors are seen seconds or minutes apart, appearing to originate from the same fixed point in the sky, it is called a meteor shower.